This is classification. You need to know this for AS level biology. I'm going to start by talking about the hierarchy. This is when a very large group of organisms is narrowed down into a very small group of organisms called a species, depending on their characteristics and where they are in the family tree. So in the hierarchy, you start with a kingdom, that's narrowed down to a phylum, and that's narrowed down to a class, then an order, then family, then genus, and then finally species. So to put this into context, I have the hierarchy system of a human. So a human is of the kingdom animals. We're of the phylum Vertebrae, meaning we have a spinal cord. It's also known as chordata. We're of mammals, which is our class. Our order is primates, along with other monkeys and chimpanzees. Our family is Hominidae. That's hard to say. Our genus is Homo, and our species is Homo sapien. So the Latin name will always be in italics, and the Latin name combines the genus with the species, so it clearly shows when you have the species like this, H means Homo, and sapien is the species. And that just makes it more clear like what the genus is and the species, rather than just the species. That doesn't really make much sense on its own. To put this into better context, I have 3 big cat species. And I'm going to show how they differ and what their similarities are. So I've got a cheetah, a lion and a tiger. And obviously they're all similar in that they're all of felines, meaning they're all cats. However, there are a lot of differences between the 3 species. The main differences come between these 2 and this one. So a cheetah, it's got a lot of differences to these 2. Its collarbone isn't actually attached to its shoulder blades, meaning that its legs are able to stretch out much further than these 2. And it stops it from having a bound when it runs. This is a really big advantage because it keeps the head still in one position, meaning it can focus forwards on its prey. A bound, if you bound, you're kind of losing sight of where your prey is, which is what these 2 species do. The lion and the tiger, you can see in their run, this tiger's going up and then it's going to hop down and run like this, and the lion here is doing the same. The cheetah doesn't do that. The cheetah stays really still, its legs come out and they go back in. There's no bound with the head. And that's because they're actually of different genuses. So the tiger and the lion are of the genus Panthera, and the cheetah is of a different genus, which I can't remember the name of. It's Achinonyx. It's a funny word, but that's its genus. And I have here the classification system, so the hierarchy for the 3 species. So you can see all 3 species, they're all of the same kingdom, all the same phylum, the same class, the same order, the same family, which is felines. When they differ is when you get to the genus. So here we have Achinonyx for cheetah, and the genus for tiger and lion is both Panthera. And then the species, obviously the species are different for lion and tiger. They look different physically. The tiger has stripes, the lion doesn't. The lion has a mane, and all of that kind of stuff. So that just shows where they differ in the hierarchy system. So they are the same until you reach the genus. And a better way, well, not a better way, but a different way to the hierarchy system is called the phylogenetic system. and the phylogenetic system shows the common ancestors. So it won't narrow the species down, but it shows where species spread from each other. And there's a good one of that. Let me just get all that off. Here we go. So, this is the phylogenetic system for these 3 cat species. We have here the tiger, Panthera tigris. Panthera pardus is a leopard, and Panthera leo is the lion. We can see that their common ancestor for all 3 of those species would be this here. Whatever this organism was here, probably another feline, that would make sense. And then down the bottom here is the cheetah, Achinonyx jubatus. And you can see that this common ancestor, the common ancestor between this one and these 3, would have been this, all the way over here. So they're not even connected closely down here. They would be connected through this common ancestor. So it just shows how distantly these 3 species are actually related. They spread out very early on, but these 2 are much closer together. And something else to think about is the phylogenetic system of canines and felines. So this shows where canines and felines spread apart. So we have the felines here and the canines here, which are dogs. And you can see that the canines, they split apart from the felines here. So their common ancestor is all the way back here. That is that's a long way. That would be a carnivore, because they're of the same. Both felines and canines are carnivores. So they would split off there and form different families. Because the families are canines and felines, and then they would form the genuses and then the species. So you can see that they split off here, which is really early on.